Hi, my name is Chandler North, and I'm here today to tell you a little bit about what I believe it takes to take your grass volleyball game from here to there, from the B level to A to open, wherever you're at today, to elevate it to the next level. In order to do this, it all starts with improving your character skills, finding opportunity systems, and sustaining motivations for a long time. And you can learn more about that part of it in my part 1 video at the link below. But this is all about the tactical elements out on the grass, what you can see on the court within film and breakdown. What are the top 5 things the highest level players in the country implement in their process, in their strategies on the grass that you can take into your game today? Let's take a look.
Part 2 of elevating your game to the next level. At the highest level of grass, the first thing that comes to mind is increasing your passing range. You can look like any of these first 3 videos, selling out to the seam, falling to the ground, even when you don't play the ball, taking yourself out. Any of those 3 are all high-level moves. Prioritizing the pass in the first contact opens everything up. And if you don't pursue the ball aggressively and expand your passing range, this is what open level, the best players in the country can do. They have the capability to get production from the service line, get hot, run multiple points, put you under extreme pressure using action, float, curve, drop, pace, power, and location into the seams, right to the sideline. So step 1 is to improve your passing, mainly the range in which you can control the ball. The second biggest thing I notice when analyzing A versus open or B versus A is that the higher level players are going to convert and terminate their chances in transition at a much more efficient and higher clip. So they're going to be both more efficient and more terminal. Every time that ball comes over the net, they're trying to score it. In order to do this, it requires ball control on all 3 contacts. If you want to get better at digging and your digging form, watch Tyler and his move here. If you want to get better at setting, practice it. Work on shoving it high and tight to the net, finding your hitter in rhythm, squaring up to give a predictable, readable ball. As a hitter, if you want to get better, be brave, work on your transition footwork, get deeper off the net so you can put more pace on the ball. One of the key characteristics to higher level players. As a hitter, if you hesitate at all, if you're not brave in that moment, if you're trying to read the defense, that's when open level players can make their moves. That's when they can get their blocks. That's when they can get their digs. So I know this example is not from transition, but Tyler's on an extreme low trap set right at a great large blocker on Kyle. Watch how fast he gets on this ball. Kyle would have had to been perfect to get him. So I highlighted all 3 contacts, but to me, the biggest and most important to work on is setting under difficult situations, finding ways to score those looks. If the end result you need is to be statistically more efficient in transition and under hoity-toities, I believe the best thing you can do is practice your setting. Thirdly, at the highest level, all attackers are able to score high and hard to the back line. You never see someone winning at the highest level when they're living at the tape height. Too easy for blocks and errors, and easy to defend when you only have a smaller window in that range. Size does matter. You see it at the highest level. And even when the out-of-system guys who aren't the largest, but they play with much speed and range, Gage, Mike, all of them were able to score high into the back line where the defense had to respect it. And if they were too shallow or too small, it was easy points, barbecue chicken. So my advice to you to elevate your game is to work on scoring a higher percentage of balls to the back line. Even if it starts at 80% swings there, it's a less error risk type of shot. You can always recycle, recover, and then as you grow, swinging at that height or at that depth into the court, you'll be able to play at the higher level. Even when you think you have space or you scored it anyways, bring the discipline to your game to hit the last 3 feet of the court consistently. Fourthly, at the highest level, defenders protect the middle of the court. This could be by the way they read and float and move into the middle of the court, or by the way that they position themselves defensively. If you're going to beat a high-level defense, you have to be quick, speedy, decisive, and brave, swinging at the sidelines. They know your margin for error is much smaller there. If you tug it too much, you're going to miss wide. So at the highest level, they touch and protect your attacks to the middle of the court. So don't get me wrong, there's absolutely game records at the open level. People who can cover massive amounts of courts, dig everything, block everything, feels like they can consume the entire court. However, for 90+% of players out there, if I'm choosing where the last bit of my range is going to be, in the middle of the court or to the end, and I give up the last 2 feet of the perimeter, I have shrunk the court at the same level as a better defender. I've been able to control the ball because I'm covering a less range. And what I found is that hitters and opposing players, they might hit real efficiently if you give up the whole court or try to defend the whole court. But if you protect the middle of the court and their only chance of scoring cleanly and consistently is at the perimeter, most players are unable to sustain that for an entire match. It is unlikely that they will efficiently beat you on the last 2 feet of the perimeter.
So I can't tell you how many times I see, especially in the lower levels, a digger trying to sprint all the way to the sideline because the blocker called angle, or in a situation like that where the blocker reaches feeling like they have to touch the ball down the line instead of finishing their move back to 6 and letting the player hit it out of bounds.
So step 4 is to protect the middle of the court. Step 5 is to recognize tendencies and not get beat on the same shot twice. Oftentimes when I'm playing with a float serving grass player like Ian, sometimes Will, or if it's a good win, bad win, it's key to know how teams handle a short serve. If I serve this guy short, is he out of the play? Does he have the touch to handle the ball, pass it high enough that he can get back and transition fully? Or can we maybe trap and set our block on the other guy? That's one type tendency that I might do early in the match, drop a short serve, to see how they handle it, to come back when they're under extreme pressure. Are they going to handle that ball the same at 20-20 as they did at 4-3? I can get those tendencies early on. How do they choose to swing when the set came from the back line and it was a super high ball, or when they were short approached, or when it was really tight? These are all things I'm considering early on in the match or in the match before where they're playing other people to pick up a tendency or two and not letting them beat me the same way twice. So step 5, what the best players do around the country is not get beat the same way twice.
So based on my research, the 5 most important skills that are overly important in grass, especially grass triples versus indoor hardcourt 6s or sand doubles, is step 1, improve your passing range to fight off aces and service pressure, which is the highest source of points for higher level teams. Number 2, to practice your setting, especially your form, your fundamentals, in stressful, hoity-toity situations. Number 3 is to increase the percentage of swings and shots you're hitting to the last 3 feet of the court, high and hard preferred. Number 4, to protect the middle of the court, thereby shrinking the court. And number 5 is to not get beat on the same shot twice. Recognize tendencies, use them to your advantage to switch things up late and get those critical points down the stretch. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time.